G'day everyone, Chad Bailey here, just giving a quick market wrap up of today's monthly store cattle sale over there at Inverell, where Inverell Agents yarded just on 1,800 cattle, Searles yarding just over 800 and had a very good run of especially, locally bred weaners here from Glen Innes. Very buoyant market, I'd say, for the better bred cattle. There were some very good yearlings penned and some very, very good, Angus steer weaners as well. But once again, a lot of secondary and mixed type and lighter type cattle throughout the yarding in both steers and heifers. And I would say the majority of the penning were weaner cattle. Very few females, PDICs or cows and calves to quote. So we'll just give a quick wrap. And I would say what was evident that you could see that we're coming into winter. There wasn't a lot of weight to start with, but the weight dropped off very, very quickly. Best of the feeder steers, and we had a real good pen of feeder steers, 440 kilos of Georgie Mellings. They got out to 385 cents to the lot feeders, but most of those yearling cattle, and they're mostly blacks, sort of north of 350 kilos, traded from anywhere from 380 to 390 cents. Best of the steer weaners, Angus steer weaners, sort of north of 280. As I said, I think it was only 4 or 5 pens over 300 kilos through the yarding, but they traded from anywhere from 380 to just a tick over $4 for those just north of 300 kilos for an Angus steer weaner. But those middleweights, sort of 220 to 250 or 60 kilos, if they were good, they got up to 440 cents. Most of those better bred steer weaners, Angus steer weaners, 410 or 15 to 430 or 35 cents. So very similar to what we saw through our April, May weaner sales early in the piece. Coloured wise, there was some very good coloured cattle there as well. The heavyweight sort of north of 300 kilos, similar to it, what we're seeing through the physical markets. $3.10 or 15 to 330 or 35 cents for those heavyweights. But most of those, coloured cattle were sort of 230 or 40 to 260 or 70 kilos. And they were solid. They made anywhere from sort of 360, 65 out to 385 or 90 cents consistently for those better types. But once again, if you weren't, conditioned or you're a little bit off type, it cheapened very, very quickly, and a lot of cattle traded south of $3. Heifer wise, once again, those yearling heifers of Georgie Mellings is the best of those, is 320 cents, knocking on the door of 400 kilos. But the dinky dye Angus heifers going back into into the paddock for females, they traded north of $3, sort of 300 to 310 or 15 cents for the best of them, and it just depended on weight. If they're a little bit heavy, they sort of 285 to $3. But most of those black heifers, 290 to to 305 or 10. The Angus cross heifers very similar, and as I said, most of the cattle sort of 220 or 30 to 260 or 70 kilos. Same sort of story, making anywhere from 270, 75 out to $3 for the better types. Coloured cattle, very, very similar, 260 to 280 or 85 cents for the better heifers. But if they're secondary or off type, a lot of those off type heifers traded between 220 to 240 or 50 cents quite consistently. So all in all, as I said, the better bred cattle very much on terms with what we saw a month, 6 weeks ago with our run of our weaner sales. You can just see that those lighter cattle and off-type cattle are getting harder to place, even though there's been rain north and south, and there's a lot of very good oats throughout. You can just see that our producers or our buying fraternity are chasing weight. Anyway, as I said, not a lot of females there to quote. So over and all, a very good day, a pleasing day for all our vendors. And as I said, we'll continue next month with that second week in July as well. But that's our quick wrap up from our end of financial year store sale. Thank you.